We are Heart of Iowa Big Brothers Big Sisters, and today we're tackling a big topic, conversations with youth about alcohol. We here at Big Brothers Big Sisters recognize the impact guardians and bigs can have on a child in helping and supporting them with making good choices that can truly change their lives. One of the best ways we can help our kids is by giving them a safe space to talk about potentially uncomfortable topics like this one. We're going to chat today about how to have these talks with ease. Let's jump in. What all will we be covering? By the end of this video, 1. You'll learn up-to-date data to more thoroughly understand the importance of avoiding underage drinking. 2. You'll learn about the signs and effects to look for in youth drinking alcohol. 3. You will receive some talk tips and discussion starters for approaching the conversation with different age ranges. 4. You will be tasked with making personal connections and starting these conversations in your head so you feel prepared when the time comes to have these discussions. What do we already know about underage alcohol use? Historically, adolescent boys were more likely to drink and binge drink than girls. However, since 2023, more girls reported more alcohol use and binge drinking than their male counterparts. About 1 in 100 children ages 12 to 13 reported drinking alcohol in the past month, and about 1 in 200 engaged in binge drinking. That's about 15.6% of females and 13.7% of males aged 12 to 20 that will drink at least once while underage. How many drinks does it take? The smaller and younger you are, the less alcohol it takes to see and feel these effects. In a 2 hours' time, 1 to 2 drinks will start to influence inhibitions, and decision-making skills will start to slip. Bump it up to 3 to 4 drinks an hour, and your speech and coordination will be reduced next. If adolescents are drinking 5 or more drinks every 2 hours, they will experience vision and memory loss. This may also lead to potential risk of alcohol poisoning and death. Alcohol use disorder, AUD, is a chronic disease in which a person craves drinks that contain alcohol and is unable to control his or her drinking. A person with this disease also needs to drink greater amounts to get the same effect and has withdrawal symptoms after stopping alcohol use. Notice there didn't have an age range. Adolescents have a 3.6% higher chance of developing AUD if they start drinking before 15. They're also 4 times more likely to have AUD as an adult if they grew up living with an alcoholic. When youth are drinking, we know it's usually in larger amounts, as 91% of beverages drank by underage youth were consumed in a binge drinking manner. There are many effects and consequences that come with underage drinking. Some examples of short-term effects include inability to play in sports or participate in extracurriculars, social and family issues, interference with medications, impacts to college acceptance and job opportunities, a higher risk of physical and sexual assaults, impaired judgment, potential of violent and risky behaviors, as well as involvement with law enforcement. This doesn't just mean the drinker either. Both the child and guardian can be charged if they are caught underage drinking. 84.3% of underage drinkers reported getting their alcohol for free from someone of age. Marshalltown Police Department is part of a public health media campaign designed by Prevention Action Alliance called Parents Who Host Lose the Most, in an attempt to help prevent underage drinking in our community. As for long-term effects, some include a higher chance of alcoholic tendencies, addiction, and alcohol use disorder, mental health issues, long-term memory loss, and brain development issues, increased chances for heart, liver, and other chronic diseases, cancers, serious injuries, decreased life expectancies, and death. In the United States alone, more than 3,500 people under the age of 21 will die each year for reasons related to excessive drinking. How do you know if the young ones in your life may be drinking? Besides catching them in the act, here are some things you may notice about them. First, their mood may change. Flare-ups of temper, irritability, defensiveness, mental health issues, memory lapses, poor concentration. Second, you may notice some performance changes, poor school attendance or grades, rebellions against family rules, or a nothing matters attitude. Finally, you could see friend changes, whether this be hanging out with a certain group more frequently or leaving behind long-term friendships. They may also show signs of reluctancy when asking to meet new friends. Keep in mind, these aren't just signs of alcohol use, so it's important to not make assumptions, but to talk to the adolescents in your life. Saying something matters. Sometimes it feels awkward, uncomfortable, or unsettling to reach out to someone about their behaviors. Even if you may be wrong in your original assumption of why you checked in, reaching out still lets the person know you're noticing changes and you care about them. Beginning the conversation doesn't mean you have to dive straight into an intense heart-to-heart or diagnose what their struggle is. It's important to just find a moment to talk. Be sure that you sow support and let them know they're not alone. Listen without judgment, give facts, and share real stories and examples. Don't belittle, try to place blame, or give an ultimatum. Refrain from knowing how they feel or fixing it. Ask them, do you need me to listen or do you need advice? And lastly, share encouragement of good behaviors, activities, or other alternatives to drinking. Often, just being available and open to talk is enough. It can be hard to think of what you want to say or where to start. Our bigs are matched with youth ages 6 to 18. We're aware the conversation needs to look different based on a child's age and prior knowledge about alcohol. Here's some quick tips to talking to each age group. If the child is around ages 6 to 10, wait for it to come up naturally in conversation. Be ready to explain what alcohol is and what it can do to your body in simple terms. For example, alcohol slows down your body and mind. It makes it hard to know things like if water's too deep or if a car is too close. If you're having this talk with a preteen, approximately 10 to 13, you are able to be more upfront about the short and long-term effects of alcohol. You can share potential diseases, disorders, and real-life examples of outcomes from alcohol misuse. They should know alcohol is a personal choice, and it's important to decide and know why they will choose not to drink. Finally, if you're trying to reach a teenager on this topic, be a good listener and keep communication open about alcohol. Lecturing about the facts and using scare tactics can shut some teens down, but do be clear about why you disapprove of it. You can brainstorm together and let the teen know they can always call or text you, and you will pick them up with no lecturing or punishment. We wanted to give you specific examples of questions you may ask or be asked about alcohol. Please think of what your response to these questions and their potential answers may be ahead of time, so you feel more prepared and comfortable when the time comes along. Some questions to ask would be, have you seen people drink alcohol? Where? Do you know the effects of alcohol on your body? What's your opinion on alcohol? Is underage drinking a victimless crime? What can happen to people who get in trouble for drinking alcohol? Kids are known for being questioners. They may ask you things like, do you drink? Why? Did you drink before you turned 21? Well, if so-and-so drinks alcohol, why shouldn't I? How does drinking alcohol make you feel? Alcohol isn't that bad for me, is it? How am I supposed to say no to my friends or someone that I want to like me? Overall, we need them to know that we understand alcohol may feel accessible or positive based on media, family values, or other important to them factors. But that does not take away from the risk and hazards for everyone involved. Let's take a moment to recap what we've talked about. You should now know more about the signs and effects of underage drinking. You've learned some data and facts to share with youth. You've learned the importance of making connections and showing the adolescents in your life you care about their health and well-being. Finally, we learned that overall, we are here to be listeners, and we have shared some questions and conversation starters so we don't have to feel as uncomfortable when having those conversations. We aren't asking youth to sign a contract that they won't ever talk about alcohol, or promise to us that they'll never drink in their lifetime. However, we do want them to know that this is a serious decision to make, and it's something we don't want them involved in. The Substance Abuse and Mental Health Services Administration helpline is a free, confidential, 24/7, 365 service available by calling 1-800-662-4357. If calling doesn't work, the National Suicide and Crisis Lifeline is 988, which you can either call or text at any time. Finally, if you scan the Your Life Iowa QR code, you'll be sent to their website, which has lots of information about alcohol, drugs, gambling, suicidal thoughts, and mental health, and other health-related concerns. No judgment, just help. Heart of Iowa Big Brothers Big Sisters thanks you again for your time and commitment to helping the youth in our community reach their full potential. Please note that throughout the presentation, our data is according to the National Survey on Drug Use and Health that was conducted in 2023 and is the most up-to-date studies as of March of 2025 when this presentation was recorded. We thank the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Seize the Awkward, the National Institute of Alcohol Abuse and Alcoholism, and the Substance Abuse and Mental Health Services Administration in helping source data, facts, and resources provided in this presentation.